Can ISIS be compared to the Nazis? Okay. Two completely different movements. Woodrow Wilson attempted to form a League of Nations after World War I. The Allied nations defeated Nazi Germany, and or not Nazi Germany, but Germany and Germany's allies. And the goal with the League of Nations was to ultimately to provide assistance and help to those peoples who had been defeated, help them get back up on their feet and go again. Just like Abraham Lincoln at the end of the Civil War. Lincoln, my favorite president of all time, Kentucky farm boy, country boy. At the end of the Civil War, Lincoln refused. So many people wanted to imprison the South, to put rules and regulations on the South, to put a chain around at least one leg of the entire South, the Southern people. And Lincoln said, no, we have been, unfortunately, a divided nation. Now we will be united. And so by not helping Germany after World War I, Germany fell into chaos. We think we got it bad now in the United States, and we do. There should not be one homeless person in the United States, the wealthiest nation in the world today, but unfortunately there are millions, including lots of people I know. I was homeless for a while. I lived in my car. I was thankful to have a car to live in for a while, but we didn't help Germany, and so we opened the doors. As the great writer Herman Hesse, one of my favorite authors, said, is a visionary author, wrote Siddhartha, published in 1992. Steppenwolf, 1927. Hess was finally had to leave Germany because he warned the German people, if you don't change your ways, you're going to have a war come to you that will be worse than anything you've experienced with World War I. And he was despised, and there were many death threats, and he left and lived the rest of his life in Switzerland. Well, we gave Adolf Hitler the opportunity to form the Nazi Party, and then we experienced World War II, and the millions and millions of deaths, the death camps, were 6 million Jews, but it wasn't just the Jews. That was bad enough, but it was also the gypsies, and I got the gypsy blood in me. It was those who were disabled, who couldn't help themselves. Those were the first ones Hitler attacked. And so it was a nightmare in our history. And as much as I am anti-war, I'm not naive. If we had not fought Adolf Hitler and the Nazis, we would most likely be living in a Nazi world today. So that leads us to ISIS. What do we do now about this Muslim radical militant movement who are, in the name of Allah, leading a war against anybody and everybody, not just the United States of America, anybody who disagrees with their religious, militant religious doctrine. And it's not pretty, folks. It's not pretty. They do not represent Islam. They do not represent, there are more Muslims in the world than any other religion. They do not represent the militant factions of Christianity, of Judaism, do not represent the majority of those people. The Muslims are good people. Hey, Louisville, Kentucky native Muhammad Ali, you won't find a better human being than the greatest. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Oh, Muhammad, won't you please help me? Because I'm searching for some peace, love, and understanding. And I know you are too. So thank goodness for people like Muhammad Ali. ISIS, if something isn't done, and this is a complex issue, if something isn't done to stop them, it is inevitable that we will end up in World War III. And as I've mentioned before, and I'll mention again, World War III is going to be a nuclear war, and it will be worse than all other wars put together. So I rewrote after the cartoonists were killed in Paris. I took my poem "I Will Not Bow Down," which I initially wrote in 1994. I have visions. I wake up at 3 a.m. and I have dreams, and I have sleeping and waking dreams, and I pay attention to them. And I saw a lot of things in 1994. That's when I met the Dalai Lama and wrote "Never Give Up" with him. That's when I wrote "I Will Not Bow Down" and tapping my own phone. But initially it was "I Will Not Bow Down, America," because our secret government, starting with the CIA, which was born out of World War II, and work we did with many of the former Nazis who we brought into our camp because we wanted their secrets. And so anyway, we got to do something. I don't know what we have to do, but I changed "I Will Not Bow Down, America" to "I Will Not Bow Down, Jihadist." And so I've read that, and we've shot that, so maybe Shooter will run that with this episode. "I will not bow down, jihadist, to your religion, your militant, fascist, religious beliefs."